Hi everybody, ArmyP here for eXplorminate.net. Welcome back to our Let's Play of Utopia. This is episode 3, so just to quickly recap on the last episode, we ended up making first contact very quickly as we discovered and scouted around our Alberta ArmyP Republic borders. And we found these handsome gentlemen, Saigagan Union. Wow, you just never get used to looking at that face. Anyway, they are a egalitarian, militaristic type race that don't seem to be very interested in having any type of significant chats with us. So what we decided what we're going to do is we're going to end up colonizing this one particular planet and pretty much kind of push onto his borders, make it a little bit uncomfortable for him, and take away some of his expanding rooms. You can see that my science ship right now is headed there, and the idea being is that we're going to try to cut off some of his expansion borders. Now that's on the west side of the map as you're looking at it right now, and on the east side, ooh, wow, things just got really interesting. Anyway, the whole idea here was that I was going to take my one remaining Corvette. The two got destroyed earlier by some alien vessels north of my map. It looks like I've encountered yet another horror of the void. Oh, lovely. We have encountered some kind of a vast entity in a near gaping maw. It appears to exist only partially inside of our own universe, with the bulk of the creature still trapped in whatever nightmarish realm it spawned from. There's a malevolent intelligence at work here, ancient beyond the concept of time, and utterly alien in its design, and we can only guess to its purpose. Well, that's not good. I don't believe I'm going to be able to retreat in time. 30 days for a faster than light emergency retreat, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do that. So just kind of, if you guys are recapping at home right now, it means we've got the Agnatics Fortress to our north, and we've also got the Dimensional Horror kind of to our northeast. So we're absolutely teeming right now with, and these are just different Leviathans that you get and can encounter and beat and get huge bonuses from. With the Leviathan DLC pack. It's not part of Utopia. So in the future, if we can survive the Saigagan not wanting to kill us, we might be in pretty good shape. But until then, it seems almost unlikely that we're going to do anything good. Okay, so it looks like we found some Cybrex, which are an old alien civilization. It starts a quest chain that we can end up doing later on. As it sounds right now, we're just trying to get through to our first set of research trees, and you can see here that I'm saving some money. I'm not really spending any, because the idea is that, of course, I recapped already, we're going to be able to build a colony ship right off the bat. So, yes, you can research that. We're going to research this new one just because it'll give us enough time to make sure that we got Brianna 3. So you can see here that if you paying attention to the upper bar, I've switched a couple things around. Okay, we got a gigantic skeleton. What was previously thought to be an assorted mountain of... Oops, sometimes forget how to pause that. On the southern hemisphere of Brianna 3 has been identified as a massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Brianna 3 could have supported life for that long on that scale in the moon's history. Science officer Thalog, or Thathoth, has prepared a local research project to deliver further in this mystery. Not too shabby. Okay. Meanwhile, it looks like we're going to... Oh, it looks like we can't even do the research on it because, unfortunately, we don't have a scientist that is good enough for it. It needs to be level 3 or above. So we got to get Thaloth, Thaloth, there you go. I gotta change those names, by the way. I'm gonna change it right now, in fact. Thaloth shall be Bella. There you go. Sounds like a good name. I don't know, maybe bites her lower lip and looks great in a sundress. But either way, at least it's a lot easier than saying Thaloth. Okay, awesome. Just as I was moaning and complaining about life in general and how we're getting boxed in and that's no fun, we've actually got our colony ship will be ready in a second, and we've got our traditions available. So I'm going to build my first colony ship, and that'll start our process. Bella's going to be researching inside of our borders to make sure that we can enjoy all of the fruits of our labor here. One of the things you're going to notice, and it might be counterproductive to some of the way that you guys do your opening strategies for Stellaris, is the first thing that you notice that I didn't do was I didn't decide to go in my opening borders and start researching everything with these different sectors so that I could start mining them and build more production up. Now the reason that I didn't do that is because that actually triggers the birth of space piracy, which is an event that happens every time in your early part of your game. And so what I've noticed is, and what I figured out, was if I do not build a mining facility or a research facility outside of my home system of Alberta, right, it will not trigger the space piracy event. But I can build as many colony ships as I want. So I can colonize half the galaxy, but as long as I do not build a single mining or research station or frontier outpost outside of my home system, it will not trigger it. Now the reason I'm doing this in particular is because I want to be able to colonize at least 2 different planets, possibly even a total of 3 or 4 depending on how my mineral production ends up. And I want to be able to build my fleet without having the risk of the actual space piracy occurring. Now I've done this several times on patch 1.4 in terms of seeing if it maximizes production, because there is a point to be made that's saying, hey, if you're not building a mining outpost, it's long-term damage, right, to your eventual output of mineral and energy production. And I get that, but I think that maximizing in colonies first and getting that population up without having to worry about the birth of space piracy actually counters that. And it's all situational, right? I want to be able to colonize as much as I possibly can because I've got this very dangerous Sygagan race to deal with. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now the fun part is we're going to be able to choose our first tradition. Now I haven't really thought about this too much because we have lots of different interesting and fun options to go with. I almost think expansion should be the way that we go, because it stands right now, this is something that I didn't mention in the last video. Depending on how long you decide to play your game for, because of course Stellaris is one of those games that does not have a significant end time. You sit there and you play the game and you almost make up your own decision on when it's going to end. Sure, there's some pretty, mild victory conditions, a victory, conquest, which is almost the exact same thing, right? And then a Federation victory is the very last one. But that being said, Stellaris is one of those games where you almost pick when you want to end the game. Now, that being said, if you wanted to, and you have the DLC Utopia, and if you wanted to start building some of the megastructures like a ring world or a Dyson sphere, or whatever the case may be, you will end up adopting all these trees, because you have to adopt all these trees to unlock all these ascension perks, and the ascension perks are of course required and coupled with certain rare technologies that you'll get very late in the tech tree to unlock some of the megastructures themselves. Now, knowing that we're going to get all these anyway doesn't make the decision any less difficult, because we have to make sure that we pick the right one first. So in my last game I actually ended up picking either Harmony or Prosperity, because I wanted the unlocking this, I get a plus 10% happiness to all my pops. I ended up having absolutely no problems with either factions or my pops by picking this one first. We don't have a faction yet, so it seems a little premature. Because we are going to be expanding so heavily, and we've got such a close neighbor, and I also don't have any idea what's to the east of my empire. I could be sandwiched between two empires right away. I think what I'm going to do is pick expansion. It's also going to help big time because if you can see here, I'm also building a colony ship. And by unlocking the expansion tree, just by unlocking it, not filling it out, you'll notice here that my new colonies start with an additional pop, which is huge. Now the finishing effect, adopt all of the expansion increases the core systems by 2. I know that core systems has been reduced by 2 from 5 to 3 for this new expansion slash the new patch. It's not a big deal necessarily because there are so many different ways to bump it back up. This is one of them. So without further ado, I am going to pick the expansion tree, and it looks like at 39 months. How my building's going here. 49, 3 minerals, 20. I think everything's good. Okay, so we got yet another alien. Oh, looks like we got some alien visitors who like to live off the star's joy. Alright, well, as long as they don't cause any trouble, we should be fine. Now, it looks like I am not doing anything with these 2 potential engineering. As soon as I get to 90, I'll build that up. Another thing you're going to notice is, and I've mentioned this a little bit already, is the beginning game of this is really slowed down, and one of the ways that they've slowed this down is not only because the minerals have a lot of different places they end up having to go with your consumer goods, ship upkeep, building upkeep, etc. What do we got here? Looks like has picked up a strange energy signature coming from somewhere deep inside the atmosphere of Wolgan 2. It appears that they have originated from a structure of some time, possibly the remains of an old orbital station, but the atmospheric pressure makes it impossible to approach. Nevertheless, scans of the unique signature have yielded a large amount of valuable physics data. Okay, well that's excellent. 60 physics data. Just in case you were kind of wondering how stored physics work, you can see here that on that last event I ended up getting 60 research points. Everybody raises their arms and says hurrah. Then if you go to physics here, a window pops down and says, hey, by the way, you've got 60 stored, because it doesn't instantly just go right towards whatever you're researching in one giant bulk sum. What happens is it goes towards, it can only, you store all 60, and because my monthly gain is 7.5, it'll take an additional 7.5 and pump it into whatever you're researching every month. So at 7.5, I'm pretty sure they just rounded up and took 8, or maybe they took exactly, and this, you know, that's stored as what it is. So just for future reference, if you end up getting, you know, a completed quest chain or a completed anomaly, and it says, hey, you got stored, you know, 300 engineering points, but you notice that you didn't instantly take off your research instantly just didn't head off and go right to the races. That's the reason why, because it stores every month and it only takes off 100% of what your monthly gain is. The more you know. Okay, so we've got some survey speed, which is excellent. We're going to upgrade our science ship as soon as we can. What do we got here? A Thoric gas refinery. Shield hit points. Well, I haven't encountered, I don't own any shields, so I guess we're going for power plant. Getting a little low on my food supply. What have I got here? 6 months. Okay, so we're going to be good there. And I am going to build a Corvette. As soon as I get this colony, he's going to be ticked off even more than he is right now. And I know I kind of segued out of that a little bit and talking about how early game has kind of suffered a little bit, but I'll explain why. Our border friction is going to go through the roof because as soon as our borders start touching, he's gonna lose it on me. All right, there's another an anomaly, and so I have to start building up ships, because if I don't, I'm in real trouble. The reason I'm in real trouble because the way that the AI in this game and most 4X games determines how they're going to actually go to war is because there's several different factors. What are the ones that can be a deterrent is having a strong military. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to build up a strong military to deter him from having to attack us. Okay, so interesting little change again into our colony right now. First off, colony ships take longer to build. Second of all, colonies take longer to actually develop, and it makes that technology that you can get in the tech tree to increase colony time substantially more important. Now, here's the key factor. Because of global food, your disassembled colony ship no longer produces minerals, and it doesn't produce minerals and energy. Now it just produces so it used to do food and minerals, now it just does energy. So in patch 1.5 they changed it to just energy. So there's a little bit of an issue there. It will eventually produce unity depending on what traditions you actually pick. But that being said, you always used to try to land it onto minerals or a food. Now it's actually energy is what you want to go to. There doesn't seem to be, yeah, this seems to be the most logical point, so we're just going to put it there. And we're off to the races. The Kur homeworld. Oh, it's a homeworld of ancient Kur, an alien civilization wiped out by the Cybrex some 600,000 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. The planet has been thoroughly stripped by machines, and scattered ruins are all that remained of the Kur civilization. The last one has been grounded to dust. Wow, sounds like the Cybrex weren't that pleasant to the people there, I'll tell you that. Now I'm just gonna get my construction ship to hang out. Okay, and we're finally building our first new Corvette, and hopefully we don't run into any more Leviathans, because I'd love to find out if I have at least one more planet that's available for colonization to my east. Or, you know what would be great, and I would take this in a second, it would be, actually, you know what? We're going to do it this way. I would love to find out if we ended up having our new neighbor. If we found out a neighbor who was just like us, peace-loving, Federation, xenophile, even pacifist, that would make life so much easier, because I wouldn't have to worry so much about, because we could enter quickly into a defensive pact and not have to, you know, sweat it out too much. Oh, look, there it is, the very first, number 10, the very first planet that we ended up going into. It's an Alpine, but it's only number 10, so it's not the best, but again, better than nothing. Okay, we got another research, more minerals, always good. Oh, I was considered, I don't know if I'm going to build a droid army, because we are going for psionicis. So, but the plus 5% minerals is always good. Yeah, I think we're going to go that way. It's definitely something that, one of those, you know, it's a personal choice, because you could have easily picked the armor and would have been good, of course, because we got an aggressive neighbor, but you know what, roll the dice. I think 5% will end up helping later on. Okay, so we got a habitable world survey. It's basically saying, hey, do you want to survey 8 worlds? I say yes, it's worth the endeavor. Okay, colony ship, where are you? Alright. We're finding anomalies all over the place, although this one's a level 3. Oh, wow. I don't know if Bella's up for such a challenge. I don't know, she's a sharp one, but 40% fail rate. Like marriage, 50-50, I don't know. I'm gonna say leave it for now and wait for that to go down a little bit. Okay. Now we've colonized Brianna. That is ongoing. You're gonna notice just how slow this actual situation ends up coming. Wow, this is an interesting turn of events. We've gone to the system of Colidor, and we've found 2 separate space entities. We've got our giant space amoebas, and we've got our giant space, you know, I don't even know what those are called. I've forgotten what the actual term is for them. I call them like basically giant floating solar arrays. And we've got an Alpine world worth 20 that I can colonize. Wow. I'm glad we ended up scouting. I'm really hoping that we can find someone, you know, We've done going. I should have gone east where I began with. Going north has been just a giant pain in the bottom. Like, think about that. How many ships I've lost here. Going north and going southwest has been huge. Alright. Bella's got a 10% failure risk on this one. It's a class 12 asteroid, which means we'll probably have a mineral boost. That's something that we're going to be interested in. So yeah, she can start researching that one. Alright, looks like we've got some gained levels. Perfect. Come on. I'm really hoping that we can find someone new. Okay, what do we got here? Some alien vessels. Looks like pirates. No crystalline entities, so I'll have to be careful there. Okay, we'll continue to build, I think, maybe 2 more Corvette ships. And I think that we're going to go right after that. We're going to try to colonize this Alpine world. And in the meantime, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send this brave Corvette ship out. You know what? We've had some luck going east. Why not? Let's just go east. That's what I figure. And I think that the goal will be to try to find another empire. I'm hoping it's one of the custom-made ones that our eXplorminates have suggested, because a lot of them have got some personality behind them, and I can't wait. Anyway, you can see here that Brianna is like slowly, like it's taking a long time to get going. Oh, a towed asteroid. That's what Bella found. Perfect. It gets us some. Oh, it looks like we did find another alien race. Wow. Going east is definitely where it's at. I'm actually going to cancel. What am I researching right now? A biolab. That's fine. I'm actually going to try to contact them as soon as possible, because I really want I really want a friend at this point. I really don't want to have to face this guy by myself. The Psi Union, I don't think that they're going to be very nice to me, so I'd love to meet a new friend in this situation. Okay, looks like our scientist Bella is rocking it, doing her job perfectly. I can start upgrading. I don't want to just yet. What have I got? I've got... I'm almost starting to debate right now, because I've got such a good mineral production for early part in this game. 5 years in, I've only got 1 colony. Yeah, I'm going to save for another colony ship. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is definitely going to get that number one Alpine world. It really doesn't matter at this point. I'm almost thinking that I should save. I should pull off my Bella here and end up surveying this system, and just for border expansion, because I can backfill later. I honestly don't think it's going to be an issue. Wow, I've actually got a lot of systems where I've got 2 planets. I've got 2 different choices here for planets. My only concern is that I've got to keep my my military as high as I possibly can for Empire strength, because by cutting into this guy's potential border expansion is never going to be good. All right, so what do we got? The glorious Vamanax Imperium. Oh my god! Oh no, this is not good. Okay, so what do I got here? I got a Xenophile. I don't know why. For some reason, I looked at that and thought it was actually thought it was actually a xenophobe. So anyway, this is very odd because you know what I think I did? Oh, this is gonna frustrate. I actually didn't lock in all of the empires. So all the empires I made for eXplorminators, there's only a potential for them to show up. I didn't lock them in. That's what I realized that I did, because I was thinking to myself, there's no way that I could have missed, you know, meeting 2 different empires, because I think there's only 2 of the empires that would have been been randomly generated by the AI in the game. And then I just realized that I actually entered them for being potential and didn't lock them in. Sorry, eXplorminators. I'll get you in the next one. Don't even worry about it. Okay, in the meantime, what do we got here? We got some glorious Valmexia Imperium, which is some type of strange, I don't even know what to say, strange fungoid type race. They're a martial empire, which means that they have, you can see some of the different stats that they've got here, and this was introduced by patch 1.5. They have government recruitment costs, or governor recruitment costs is reduced by 50%. Empire leader capacity +4. Because of warrior culture, they get damage upkeep by 20%, or army damage by 20%, and army upkeep minus 20%. So this is kind of interesting. Imperialist, gotta love him. So I don't know how he's gonna do with our peace-loving race. Well, I wonder what our first response to him to be. I bring greetings from Emperor Azad, #1, undisputed ruler of the glorious Valmaxis Imperium. We wish to learn more about your species. Which martial techniques do your warriors employ, given your fascinating biology? That's a good question. And you can already tell that we're warriors, because we're the Army P Republic. And I say, hey, we can learn much from each other, because love is friendship set to music. That's terrible. Anyway, we can learn much from each other. That's what I'll say. Now, let's see. He's already +30, so I wonder... Non-aggression pact. Doesn't look like it's going to be an easy go off the bat, so we'll see how it goes from here. Now, in the meantime, I really need to start getting my power production up here, because you can see right now that I am struggling just on the tad side. I want my growth timer minus 10%. That's always helpful. Because I'm... Because Brianna's going, my colonization, what have we got? Ship maintenance, colonization, building maintenance, station maintenance. So -8. I'm just generally low on power to begin with. I think that's going to be my bane, telling you the honest truth. So I've got 103 -5, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch some of my food, and this is just me min-maxing here, switch my food to power, and try to slow that staunch down of me not being able to have enough power to get another colony ship. It also doesn't help that I've got a whole bunch of ships on the go already. And you can see here that I'm gonna have to get Brianna as soon as it's up and ready, producing power, because I'm in a bit of a problem. I've got lots of minerals and I got lots of research, but it seems power is what my empire is going to be thirsty for in the coming years. So something to be considerate of. Okay, perfect. Our colony's back up and running. You can see here that our energy credits are back up to +4. But the real problem here is that I've got 540 minerals. I honestly don't think I can afford to actually build another. I don't think I can afford to build another colony ship and have it fully colonized before things go to heck and back. Wonder how much it would cost to colonize. 193, and that's almost all my influence. Ooh, I'm really curious. Should I roll the dice or not? Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to backfill a little bit and try to see if some of these inside of my borders, some of these different locations have something that I can... Oh, and looks like we've made contact yet again. This is interesting. We've received a transmission from the Divine Vegetarius Empire. Oh, it's too bad. I think we actually made one of these guys. I should have been the Miya. Ah, well. So these guys are an authoritarian spiritualist. This is actually good because we're spiritualists as well. It actually means that we'll end up being friends with them. But although because they're authoritarian, it also means they might want to enslave us or eat us. Well met. I represent the Divine Vetricius Empire, led by the illustrious. Oh my God! Look at some of those names. He's a trunk of #1. We rule the region of space under the divine mandate, so as long as you don't interfere with our spiritual affairs, our relations will remain cordial. Spirits bring you to your goals. Yeah, why don't we just be friends for a little while? So it looks like from our surrounding neighbors, we're the only ones who have built a colony ship so soon. I think what I'm going to do... Oh wow, this... I think I'm going to build a energy ship and more energy there. That energy should go on. I'm going to clear this tile. We cannot afford to clear this tile. Wow, looks like we're going to have to make some trading. I'm going to have to do some stuff off camera, I think, and make some trades. Because it stands right now, we've got 3 potential partners. We're so staunched right now on energy credits, and we're teaming with minerals. So just kind of recap of this new episode, guys. We were able to make contact with 2 more empires. Unfortunately, have yet to encounter any of our eXplorminate neighbors. Hopefully they'll come up in the next coming videos or so. The Cygag Union has yet to attack us, which is good. We've got a decent sized fleet, and our first colony of Brianna is now up and running. And it looks like we're going to be making a decision of what we're going to do in the east of us. We have a potential to have 2 different Leviathans to our north. And we got to pick our first tradition in our tradition tree, which we chose for expansion. Okay, everybody, this has been Army P for eXplorminate.net. Thanks a lot for watching our Stellaris Utopia Let's Play, and I'll see you in the next episode.